first sent you an email. So, we talked later that morning at 9 a.m. Towards the end of our conversation, Joshua Press, who's the Senior Vice President of BSE Global, he oversees everything that's GC. At the time, he said I was one of the best candidates that they had spoke with, and that he would be in touch. So, about 2 weeks later, I became a special advisor and helping the team draft for the expansion draft.
Okay.
And I took our first pick was Nate Call. He's the second pick in the expansion draft. And then I took Shockey as the seventh pick in the expansion draft. So those was our first two draft picks. Slowly but surely after that, I signed another contract, and my next contract after that was the GM and head coach, where I would be signing on for that first season as the general manager and head coach. So it was a process, but it was a fun process. I mean, sometimes that like not knowing, like if you're the guy, if you're the right guy, or if they think you're the right, it's that trust factor. The NBA is successful for a reason, and obviously they want to do their due diligence, and whoever they're selecting and who they're putting their organization in the hands of. So I enjoyed it. I look back on it now, and it was definitely something needed because like every little step wakes you up and gets your attention about things that maybe you wasn't thinking about or you didn't see. So it was a fun time. And my first season, I had help with Nicholas Gartrell. He was a business operations assistant, and he also assisted me in the expansion draft. And now he's the assistant coach for T-Wolves gaming for the second season. Well, third season for them.
Third season for them, yeah.
Oh, no. Second. It's the second season for T-Wolves game. My apologies. Yeah, they were expansion. They came in at the same time. Yeah, we had four teams come in the year we came in.
That's crazy, man. And I gotta ask you, man, like, from you being like Midwest and moving over to that platform, man. My wife and I, we actually stayed in Jersey. She's in disaster recovery, Curt, and we stayed in Jersey, like Hoboken area, man, for like a year and a half. And really enjoyed the climate. It's a nice sports climate there and culture. So how was it like, especially with the Nets, man? Because they have a you laughing, man, because I'm about to ask you, man. They have a young culture, man. Like they're like, like the millennium team to be with. So like, how is the culture there, and like, being there and being exposed? I know that franchise is like big on technology and stuff like that, and like being cutting edge. So how was that whole journey?
Well, first the reason why I laughed is because like me coming from Ohio, small town. I'm a small town kid, and even at the tender age of 41, I'm still a small town kid. Like I love the big city. But I tell you, I struggled the first year I was here. Because it takes some getting used to, and I tell anybody, New York is not for everybody.
That travel is a beast, huh, Curt?
Oh yeah, definitely. But the one thing I like about it is it forces me to get my exercise in and walk and catch. Because I love to catch the train. I know most of the people who born and raised, they pretty much they tired of it. A lot of times they get tired of catching trains and stuff, but. Overall, as far as being under the BSC umbrella, with the Brooklyn Nets and everything like that, it's always been like a family atmosphere. Like it's at least with the leadership that Joshua Press provides and extends to me, it's always been like let's work hard, play hard, and take care of families. Like and that's something. Even like last season, the CEO Brett Yormark. Under that era, and now being under the new ownership, you see like it's just that I felt that I went to the Christmas party this past December, and it just was like, it was like family having a good time. Like, I mean, yeah, and it was a great experience. Like you hear a lot of things, and you may wonder like what's things gonna be like when you go to certain functions, or being around certain people that you don't always get to see every day within the organization. With the ownership and different things like that. But it definitely was an eye opener. It was a great time. Everybody was having fun, and just it was lax, and they expect people to you know what you're there for, and get your job done. But at the same time, like I said, it just always feels like family. There's a few people who work within the organization that's actually from Ohio, and
okay,
so it's been a great experience for me. I mean, I can't say nothing but great things about BSC Global and the whole everybody who's involved with NetGC. It's a great place to be. The one thing I will say is like I know it's a lot of people who strive to make the 2K League, and whether it's a player, whether it's in management or whatever. But I think the key is going to a place or being at a place that fits you, and I can definitely say that's where I'm at.
That's good, man. That's a blessing. Not only to do something that you love doing, but feel welcome at the workplace, man. You don't find that too often, man. So definitely consider yourself blessed, man. Definitely. I wanted to kind of talk about, we're in that COVID pandemic, man, and a lot of stuff has changed. Like, what's your day to day now as GM and coach, man, with the team? And I know y'all had a few tournaments, but you haven't started like gameplay yet. Like, what has that been like?
It's been challenging. I mean, because you like with me having a season under my belt, you have like a level of expectation. It's just of knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and how the league operates, and then obviously for this season, we was making some big cosmetic changes as far as where we were playing, ticket sales, a lot of different amenities coming along with the studio, so it was something everybody was looking forward to, and for that to abruptly change, and now everybody's pretty much working from home. We took our PCs and from our practice facility at the Barclays and took those to the apartment. So just everybody's had to make a tough adjustment. This is the moments where you get challenged and you see where you're at mentally and physically. Because I don't know about you, but it's been hard to sleep considering the way everything's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy for me, man, because, you and I had that conversation before. Like, I started this podcast because I wanted to kind of educate my local area and to turn it to something else. And I find myself like, I'm not doing my what I call my passion job, teaching. I'm not doing that every day. So I'm constantly trying to create and look what everybody else is doing. So, with that said, I popped up at I ate dinner and then popped up at 10 and didn't go back to sleep till 3 a.m. So I think that's everybody that's used to creating and doing something and having a full day. I think pretty much that's where we are, man. And it's just crazy times.
Definitely.
But
definitely.
We had 5 minutes left in the show. I wanted to ask you, what do you look forward to, when you do get a chance to start the season? And then, after we discuss that, I'll give you the floor, man, to be able to kind of plug away, man. We hadn't talked about your podcast, but I definitely want you to kind of plug that and plug whatever else you got going on.
Got you. It's just getting back into the flow. Here probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks it'll be getting back in the flow of just competing. I mean, most of the players and even us GMs and coaches that come from the gaming community, just getting back into competing on a weekly basis and a daily basis. I think that's arguably what got most of us here, especially the players. So once we can get back into the flow of doing that on a regular, I think it'll bring some type of normality, not all the way, but definitely it'll help. Regarding the podcast, the OG 2 Cents podcast, definitely, it started from Twitter. I would put out random motivational tweets and hashtag it OG 2 Cents. And I told myself after a year, I wanted to turn it into a show. I basically took the tweets and turned those into segments. So now it's pretty. It's been pretty good. I've been learning a lot along the way. It's gotten better. I started out independently, and in the process, I picked up some great people that's helped me improve it a lot. Dave at the 2K Zone, he also has a podcast, so it definitely was a great benefit for me to get some experience and things like that from him. And then Schreider, which is his name is Brent Rung, but he's the video editor, and he also does a lot of great things in the community for people. But it's a good show. It's pretty much just a blend of lifestyle and gaming. A lot of life situations in there. Some of my experiences, like I say, some experiences from people around me, and I think I just use it to try to encourage and help people. And then also in the process, I help myself because it's you live life for a longer period of time. It's things that you forget, and sometimes I go down memory lane and do that. The show airs every Sunday at 10:30. I did a few live episodes, but I've basically been doing pre-records right now since I don't want to compete with The Last Dance. So
I understand.
Yeah. So I'll be doing some good pre-records, but basically, you can check it out on Podbean, Spotify, Apple. But when it goes live on those three as well as LinkedIn and and Tumblr as well. I use that, but you can find me on Twitter at OG King Curt, and I'm basically there and on Instagram and Facebook. Also, the show is on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's OG 2 Cents Podcast, and basically that's pretty much it. I do another show on Tuesdays on Twitch. It's called Twitch Tuesdays, and I just talk candidly about a lot of different topics, whether it's in the 2K community and beyond. We just sit and have a good time, and I interact with the chat. And the funny thing about it, I've made a lot of upgrades since I've been in an apartment. I've had nothing but time, so I've been investing in myself. It's been a great time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some upgrades too, man. I've been looking at gaming PCs and green screens and all kind of stuff, man. Because we create these things and we're in the ecosystem of gaming and esports, and you see somebody else doing something and you're like, man, I gotta figure that out, because you want your best content and your best foot forward, man. So definitely, man, I understand that, man. But I appreciate you being on the show, man. At some point, I got to get you down here and get some crawfish and gumbo and jambalaya and all that good stuff and change your whole life. I'm gonna take you up on that offer. I'm not gonna decline. Take me up.
Tell you that.
Take me up on it, man. And look, and I know, man. LT ain't nothing but six hours away, man. We get them down here too, man. I'll show you the city, man. And definitely, man. Wish you the best, man. I wish you the best in the NPABA and also at next gaming, man. And hopefully, I can slap and knock some sense into these Pelicans, man, so we can start a gaming down here, man. So, but definitely, thank you for coming on, Curt.
I appreciate it. Anytime, like I said, I'm thankful for the opportunity. Thank you for all the kind words, and definitely we'll be in touch.
Thanks, brother. Wish you the best.
This was another episode of Go Play Esports with Christopher Turner. Follow him on Twitter at Turner_CP.